I was wrong about the Mara Z. I was so proud about this phone that I made an unboxing, the review, and even a 6 months review about it again. It turns out I was wrong about it being made in Africa. So because the design may have been copied outright. So stay tuned and watch to see what I mean. Hey there, I'm Francois. I like exploring ways that I can make my technology work for me. If you would like to do the same, why not subscribe to my channel so you can get tips and tricks on how to do just that. I thought made in Africa meant it was designed here and that it was exclusive to this continent. That can't be true because I found another smartphone manufacturer called General Mobile. Their GM8 model has the exact same external design as the Mara Phone Z. Also has the same accessories and the same packaging. I noticed in another unboxing video from someone else, when they were unboxing their thing, the package was exactly the same design of the package. The accessories looked exactly the same, just with General Mobile's name, brand name, instead of the Mara Z brand name on there. Although Mara have their branding on there, there's no other name over there, right? So they've basically just got Android One on there, and below they've got made in South Africa. But this one was probably assembled in South Africa, but it's just got the brand thing over there. So for General Mobile instead, then it's just got the General Mobile name there instead of the Mara Z logo. And it's also got Android One, so it looks the same, and it'll probably have like made in Turkey because that's where General Mobile is from. The General Mobile GM8 was released 2 years ago. It's actually now discontinued. It's been replaced by the GM9. I think it's a GM9 Pro or the GM9 Plus. You can look on the website. I will leave a link in the description box below. They don't sell it anymore, but there's still information on their site about GM8, and you can find it on other sites. So how did I come across this phone? It's funny because I probably would never have come across this phone if I hadn't been asked in the comments of one of my videos if there were other cases. The person asked me about a cover. So when I searched for the Mara Z phone, I didn't come up with any cases for the Mara Z phone. So I thought, well, it says Android One over here. Let's just put that into the search engine. Okay, so when I searched for Android One, so I found the site, a Google site explaining what Android One is, and then also giving a few phones that have Android One. If I couldn't find the Mara Z, because I didn't find the Mara Z on the Android One site, I thought maybe if I can find similar looking phones. You know, I was looking for phones that kind of had the same bold and whatever. I thought it may have the same bold and I can find something similar. I never expected to find something exactly the same design. And when I first looked, I thought, no man, there's gotta be like something different, right? It turns out it's exactly the same. It's the same bold. It has the buttons on the same side, the camera in the same place. Everything is exactly the same. Like I will show you pictures, it is exactly the same. And because this phone is older, the GM8 was released 2 years ago, as I said. It obviously came first. The Mara Z was only released, it was released last year sometime, so in 2019, when this other phone was released in 2018, the GM8. So it was definitely released first. Okay, so the next thing I thought was, am I misinterpreting made in? Say for instance, an iPhone. You'll see on the back of the iPhone, designed by Apple, assembled in China. So it means it was designed in the USA, but it was assembled in China. Like the motherboard is probably assembled here, and all the things are put on the motherboard, like the CPU and whatever else you put on the motherboard, was all assembled here, right? But I knew that the chip was obviously not bought. The chip is, I think it's Snapdragon 843, okay, I don't know. But anyways, so the chip was got the battery and the Gorilla Glass and all of those things. I think they were all sourced from other places and then assembled here. I didn't know that the casing would also be assembled. I mean, just got from somewhere else. But that's probably what happened, right? So made in and they said manufactured in. So maybe parts of it in manufactured in. And I'm sure that I'm just misconstruing this because maybe they do actually say, but they do say on their site made in Africa. They use made in and they use manufactured in. And as I said, on the phone itself, it says made in South Africa. And that could be a little misleading because you might think that it's also designed here. And I don't think that's the case. Did they simply just imply assembled here? And I think that's what they implied, sorry. If you go into it like a little bit deeper and you look for what's the difference between made in, manufactured in, and assembled in, really. Like, and then you get maybe on Wikipedia, and I will link all of these things in the description box below. You get something like country of origin. And if you look at that as well, there's a lot of ambiguity around about what it really means, you know. Still gonna look at that a little further. It's just that I just find it very strange personally that something is the exact copy of another thing. I know phones are sometimes similar, you know, but then they'll have one thing perhaps different, because we know in this modern day the smartphone has kind of reached a basic design, right? And most smartphones look the same, even if they're from different manufacturers. Basically look the same with small differences, like there's a notch there, there's a hole punch there. The cameras are similar. You'll see Google and Apple, all of them, they've got kind of similar cameras. Samsung has its own style, but you know, it's kind of the general idea of having the same kind of thing. Samsung has the hole punch, you know. But there are other few companies that also have the hole punch. Maybe Samsung came up with it. Other companies thought that that's a good idea, that's a good alternative, I'll use that. Some other companies perhaps still use the notch. Yeah. So some other companies still use the notch that Apple used. So they also thought that's a good idea. We see a lot of phones that look similar. But an exact copy, that kind of bothers me. Yeah, that bothers me. An exact copy. Yeah, so I wanted to say, like, if it's exactly copy, is it just blatant copying? Or are you just taking another phone's design and just putting your name on there? For me, there's something inherently wrong with that. I'm not very comfortable with that. I have reached out to Mara Phones and they have been good about getting back to me about other things. I asked them about software updates and they did actually reply to me about that. So I'm sure they'll get back to me. I only emailed them about this thing on Monday. It's Wednesday today. I'm filming on Wednesday. So it's a bit short notice for them to have gotten back to me. I checked my email before I did this video. I was a bit upset initially, especially because I made videos about this phone. I was so proud that it was made in Africa. Really not sponsored at all or anything like that, but my first Android device, I was very proud about this phone. And then when I saw the exact copy, it was a bit upsetting for me. Having time to think about it and also having time to research a little bit on this, and I still have a lot of researching to do because there's a lot of things that I'm not clear about. There's a lot of things that I don't understand about the whole smartphone design and smartphone manufacturing process and what it takes to have your things, say, made in a certain country. As I said, it could be assembled here, it could be manufactured somewhere else, something like that. So what does it actually mean? And I've got a lot to learn. So as I've gone through this process, I'm thinking that maybe the mistake is not theirs. Maybe the mistake is my understanding of what it means for something to be made in a certain place. What does made in mean? What does manufactured in mean? And what is the difference between that and assembled in? The thing about these phones though, these Android One phones, are that they are supposed to help people that usually wouldn't be able to afford flagship devices or wouldn't want to buy or spend money on flagship devices, because flagship devices have just, their prices have just skyrocketed, getting ridiculously expensive. People don't want to spend that much on devices, and these devices are actually giving us real value for money. And sometimes if they're gonna copy a design of another phone just to have the price lower down, it's probably a fair trade. I mean, we shouldn't go crazy like I did, and maybe just understand that, well, that's the thing. You're not going to find something that's unique if you're going to be paying a lot less money for it. I mean, this phone is a quarter of what I paid for the iPhone 11, 4,000 Rand to 16,000 Rand. There are some trade-offs. A lot of prominent tech YouTubers are looking into the whole smartphone manufacturing, planning, design process, looking at the whole process, what design decisions are made, what cutbacks are made, like camera, screen, all of those things, and what those components together, what do they mean for the consumer? How much will you pay? How much will you spend depending on what is in the phone? And it's nice because although there's not currently a transparency about this, I think it will be better for the consumer if there is, because you understand that if I'm buying a phone at that price, that maybe I'm not going to have the best camera, maybe I'm not going to have the unique design. So there's a few trade-offs that I'm just going to have to live with, and I'm going to have to understand those. The lower price comes with the trade-off on a few of those things that I would get from a flagship device. Okay, so this is, sorry, probably a long video, probably going to be a very difficult video to edit, but I'm trying to look at the camera a little bit more, so thanks for your suggestions. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, but if you don't like it, then also give it a thumbs down and let me know why you gave it that thumbs down. You know, it always helps if you give feedback on why you didn't like a video. It would help me try to improve my videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Yeah, thanks for watching.